hard to believe. 3.6 million pesos is how much I poured into this business venture. If you don't know, like June of last year, so I don't know, a year and a half ago, I had the bright idea of starting a business here in the Philippines with some business partners. And it was a beach bar. And it didn't like just happen because I was thinking about it or anything. It just kind of fell in my lap. Somebody had said, hey, want to buy it? You know, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. And I'm that kind of guy, right? I'm the kind of guy that just throws myself into it going, let's go, take a risk, do it, go have fun. But at the time, like I just restarted my life from my ex and everything, and it only been building up my channel for like 6 months. I just didn't have the financial wherewithal. But I did have, connections where I went to people and said, listen, I'm going to do all the marketing. I'm going to do all the operating and everything else. So with Catherine, I can't physically do work, but I can be the brains, and we'll just get it going and we'll make it happen. And so I had Filipino business partners that jumped in, and they put up the money initially with the deal that, I'll never ask them for money again. I will put in the any money going forward after that. And of course, in addition to my own time and effort and Catherine's time and effort and everything else. And everything was great. We did a grand opening. It was pretty awesome. Lots of people came from all over the world. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. But what I didn't know at the time came from a lot of things. Like I had experiences in running businesses back home, not in the restaurant bar business. And let's be honest, so many people in my comments were saying, this is guaranteed to fail. Businesses and bars, 99% failure rate or 90%, whatever they were all saying. And it actually was fuel for me. It wasn't, confirmation. It wasn't really a warning. It didn't come off that way. Anyway, to me, what it came to me is, okay, well now I definitely have to show them they're wrong. And, I wish I had done that, but then again, do I? Because, yeah, I was wrong. Like our price point was totally wrong. I was trying to provide like Western sized meals and, with more expensive ingredients, things like that, but trying to be price competitive with all the other Filipino restaurants all over. And that clearly was a bad business model, right? You can't do that because I was literally paying people to eat. And, I didn't have a lot of the structures set up for make sure of theft and everything else where I thought I did, but I didn't. In hindsight, I know all the mistakes that I made throughout this. And when a lot of people go to expat bars, restaurants in here, and they're like, oh yeah, but the prices are so expensive. But now I understand why. Well, yeah, but if you've seen the quality of the food they're providing and everything they're putting into it, if they didn't charge those prices, they'd be losing their shirt. And we were very busy, especially in the beginning. And then, we get into the rainy season, stuff like that. And I just kept putting money in. And being on the beach, there's costs associated with everything being smashed up and everything too, of course, and repairing all the time and improving and making, I doubled the size of it and everything. And we just we were losing maybe 50, 100K, sometimes in a week. The most we would lose on a month, maybe 200,000 pesos that we would have to keep going to the ATM and just keep pouring all of our money that I'm earning, putting it back into the restaurant, and trying to break even was just like the dream. And every time I thought we would come close to break even, there was something that was left out. It was always something taxes-wise or something to do with some kind of liability of some sort that I'd have to cover. And then it was like, oh, actually, that great month we had, actually we lost 30%. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't difficult, or it was very difficult. But what happened is I had so many positive things come of it. Now the restaurant, is run by my business partners. After 15 months of losing money, I just said, I'm either going to shut it, sell it, or you guys can take it over and I'll give you a huge percentage of the shares, because they run restaurants already. And they took the option of, taking it over. And so I just do marketing and meet people here, that kind of thing, for the bar, for my remaining percentage. And they take care of everything else. And I don't have to put any more money into it. So now it actually does really, really well. They don't need as many customers to break even. They know how to make the most out of every meal, that kind of thing. They're able to get better discounts for things, and things have worked out very, very well. But also what I gained from it is something that you can't really put a value on it. And that is, everything I've learned from this experience has a tremendous value. So even though I lost this enormous amount of money, which is like 60K or something like that, it's been an investment in myself. It's an investment in the beaver. It's still here. It still exists. But I've learned so much of it, and then I've gotten to meet thousands of people have come from all over the world to come visit right here at the Canadian Beaver. And still, to this day, maybe 200, 250, 300 people will come every month just to Roxas, just to come to the Canadian Beaver. And so that alone is just amazing to me. That is incredible. Like, again, intangible. You can't really put a dollar value on it. And obviously, all of Roxas City benefits. The hotels, the businesses, tourism in general, all benefit from it too. And I like that. I like being able to make a positive impact, and that has a value. So I don't see it as a total loss or anything like that. The likelihood that my small percentage would ever earn me 3.6 million, no, let's be honest. So at least what I did in my head is I just said, okay, from there on, start at zero essentially, and write that off. Write that off in my brain. Otherwise it'd drive you nuts, and I don't want to be driven nuts. But I had an awesome experience during that whole process that felt very valuable to me. I got to meet, again, a lot of people, but also a lot of good contacts here in the city that make my life a lot easier. If I need an electrician, I need this, I need something broke down in the middle of the night, or I need something taken care of the next day. I now know everybody around here that can help out, which makes things very, very helpful. Some of the biggest problems that you're going to find that if you're going to try to run a restaurant or something here is the supply, right? This is a country of islands, many islands. And if a supply is on a far island and you are down on one of the south islands, well, that truck's going to have to go on multiple ferries. Each ferry will cost them 75,000 to 100,000 pesos to get on that ferry for that truck. And so by the time it reaches you, who knows how much it's going to cost, in addition to what it costs that anybody on the main island of that product. And so distribution can be a big difficulty when it comes to cost here, as well as supply. There's just not the same number of things available here. Perhaps if you wanted to start a restaurant right in BGC or Manila or that kind of thing, yeah, your supply is going to be tremendously better than a provincial city. But for the most part, this is the big struggle for me here. And also, when it comes to wholesalers, right? When you're in the West, you have a wholesaler, you get all your cups, your pens, your pencils, your notepads, your uniforms. You can get anything from these guys, in addition to all of your foodstuffs. Well, here, at least in Roxas City, there really is none of that. You'll have one guy that might do some chicken, or you'll have one guy over here that might do something. But for the most part, you're paying retail for everything, and then you're trying to sell it at a price that is affordable to everybody. It's just a recipe for disaster. So you're always tailoring your menu around only what's available, caught right here, farmed right here, or grown right here, that sort of thing, right? Anything like that. But anything that has to be imported or anything, you're going to be paying through the roof, even if it's imported just from another island. So often you're just going to SM, Robinson, the grocery stores, paying full retail price, and then trying to sell it. It's a very difficult thing. Another thing people don't realize, there is overtime here, that after 8 hours you have to pay overtime. Yes, there is all the social security type stuff and everything that you're used to in the West. Yes, an employer has to pay into all of those. There's different health care. There's all kinds of stuff that come into play. So the costs of things, often foreigners like myself did, is they thought, oh, well, labor's cheap. But everything's relative, number one, your selling price, but also there's more to it than the actual salary that you're paying that you may not understand. As well, permits. There's many, many different levels of permits, from the barangay all the way up to the city, to the province, to, I guess, federal when it comes to the federal taxes and stuff like that. There's different levels of taxation all the way across, and some of these permits can take months to obtain, and every year you'll have to obtain them again. Every year you'll have to have all these inspections come in, and there's a cost associated with each one until you can get your final, like for example, a mayor's permit will have many subsets. And so you have to, all these inspections, they give you the sign off, and then finally you can get your official mayor's permit, which has to be renewed every year. So you have to keep in mind, there is a big amount of cost involved in all of that stuff. So yeah, I learned a lot of it. Now I understand it all very, very well, and had to learn the hard way. So yeah, that's my take on it, because a lot of people were wondering, like, what happened and where you're going from here, that kind of thing. I am not interested in being in another bar, restaurant type business. I do not recommend people come and try that here. I just don't. I know other people that are doing it, and at best, you're looking at getting a very low-paying job for a ton of your effort and time. And I couldn't do the physical work here, neither will any other foreigner who has a restaurant. You can't physically do the work. You can't stand over and do all of the stuff. So, you have to be very hands-off on this and just be kind of like managing your investment sort of thing. And so I'm going to highly recommend you don't do that. There are businesses that are very profitable that I've met a lot of people, and generally they have to do with like resorts, hotels. Occupancy rates are very, very good here. And also you'll notice that the pricing, right? People always say it's so expensive in the Philippines compared to Vietnam and Thailand, those kind of places. And it's true. It is a very profitable business for the people that are running it, because they're able to get $100 a night to stay in a place, but yet the wages are nowhere near what most places in the world that get $100 a night pays. So it is a very good business. Definitely anything that exports or anything like that, if you can have the right buyers back in America, Canada, wherever you're from, to buy your product, then you could definitely get an endless supply of things here that you could then sell back to the West, and you can own 100%, and you can work it, and like the government is very supportive of those things. Those are really good businesses here in the Philippines that if you are interested, those would be learn from my mistakes sort of thing. Those are the only ones that I would say right now off the top of my head that would be a good business to be in. But yeah, my lesson hopefully helps some other people also not make the same mistake. I never wanted to close it earlier, because I just, like the employees, I see the effect on it. I see how, so many people rely on the beaver being here, because it really does help out with everything overall. And so I kept telling myself I'm going to just try to make it work. Just keep trying and putting more and more money into it, until one day I just said, I just can't. At some point I have to say that I've done all I can. And that's where I got. So there you go. There's the whole story of the Canadian Beaver, which is, yes, still operating and great. And you can come and see me here anytime. Just make sure you let me know what day. I don't hang out here 24 hours a day or anything. We'll meet you down here. We're going to hang out and come and try the steak here. The steak is phenomenal, something I did not have. Though luckily is the people that are now running it, they have a steak restaurant, and so they have the expertise. Where I wasn't confident that every steak would be burned, sort of thing, because it's not a common thing cooked here. So where you can order medium rare, that kind of thing, and expect to get that. But now you can, because these people who operate here have phenomenal experience cooking great steak. So come on down, have a steak, I have a beer, draft beer available here. And every second Sunday of every single month at 5 p.m., we do an expat meetup, and they have been phenomenally successful now 3 months in a row, which has been great because it allows me more free time to hang out with everybody because I don't have to worry about the operations of this and my corner my eye. I'm not like, why is that person not getting this and what's happening over there or that kind of thing. I don't have to do that anymore. Frees me up to do all kinds of things, travel and just things that I find very interesting. So it worked out best for I think everybody, but take a lesson from me and stay out of the bar and restaurant business. It's probably a good idea. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. I hope to see you guys all again. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe, and we'll see you again.